everybody, it is Friday the 27th of May. Apologies in advance for scheduling video uploads being all over the place. Internet is a bit ropey at the moment and very, very unreliable, so I can't get any guarantee as to when the files are uploading to YouTube in any sort of consistency, so it's a bit all over the place. They're sort of turning up in the middle of the night and all sorts of crazy stuff, but I'm trying to stick to one upload a day, just trying and failing in some aspects. So apologies if you're kind of expecting a video and it's not turning up and then it's kind of arriving like 2 in 1 day or anything like that. That's kind of what's going on. Anyway, I got quite a nice package in the post from a guy called Quint, who is the guy that runs films the Well-Aged Scotch YouTube channel, who I mentioned, I think it was probably about a week ago, and is well worth checking out. And he very kindly sent me 3 samples, so I'm actually going to do all 3 in a row, just to kind of not get them out of the way, as it were, but it seems like a good excuse to, because I've got a lot on at the moment, to do 3 to get the next 3 days done quite quickly, because I've actually got to do one. The first one I've got to upload pretty much straight away because I'm not behind, but I need to catch up. So I thought, what the hell, I'll do 3. I can get 3 in a row done, and then if I can't get any tomorrow or the day after, at least I know that I've got some in the bank, as it were. I really need to stop doing that as well, because it's just a bit poncy. Anyway, so he sent me 2 blended Scotch and a bourbon. So when I said the other day I'm going to do I'm going to do a run of bourbons, alright, I'm not. I will after this, maybe, depending on what else I've got. Anyway, so we'll crack on with the first one. Now this one actually harks back to one that I had 3 videos ago, I think it was, which was the black and white. Now the black and white was by Buchanan, James Buchanan and Co. And this one, if you've been watching the title, you would have seen the name already, is Buchanan's Deluxe 12-year-old. So this is the sample that Quint sent me. Thank you, Quint, very kind of you, mate. And this is what the bottle looks like ordinarily. Now, the Whisky Exchange in London are selling this for about 46 quid, about 45, 46 quid. And Buchanan's is actually quite hard to get hold of in the UK. It's quite big in America, and apparently South America as well. It's huge. Now, part of the reason is because of James Buchanan himself. So this is what James Buchanan looks like. And he was born in Canada, but he was actually the son of Scottish immigrants, and shortly after his birth they actually returned back to Scotland. So when he was about 14, 15, he ended up working for his brother in a grain company, and in 1879 he moved down to London to work as an agent for a whisky company. Now, whisky down south was not massive, but it was sort of there, and to be perfectly honest, it was more about Irish whisky than anything else. Oh, dribbled a bit. Alright, there wasn't anything outside. So he actually saw an opportunity in the market, particularly in London, and that's partly the reason why when I did the black and white, I was talking about the fact that it was previously known as House of Commons, because he saw that there was a market in there for Scotch whisky, not whisky in general, but Scotch. And in 1884, for the previous company, whose name I don't actually know, it's not written down in the notes, the sort of the research that I've done, he produced a blended whisky of his own for them, and then in 1884 set up his own company, which was James Buchanan and Co. In 1898, so not that long afterwards, he was actually issued with a royal warrant, yeah, that's what I said, by Queen Victoria, and so already by that point he was doing really good. So he was a supplier of blended Scotch whisky for the royal family. They were purchased by Distillers Company Limited in 1925, which ended up all the way through the chain of becoming Diageo, and it is owned by Diageo now. Apparently a big constituent in this blend in particular is supposedly Dalwhinnie. That was pretty much all I could find in terms of the malts that are in there, the percentages, that sort of thing, in terms of the breakdown. Even then, that's not confirmed. That's just kind of like somebody else saying, I've heard that it is Dalwhinnie. So that's kind of hearsay as to whether that's actually the case or not. But as I say, it's very big in South America and the US, and apparently the reason it's big in South America was apparently James Buchanan was quite keen on racehorses and would travel over to South America with a view of buying horses and racehorses, and again, as with London, saw an opportunity to break into the market and basically got in there early, and it's a very, very big established brand. Now, Diageo also have something called Buchanan's Forever, and I'm gonna, if you'll excuse me, I'll actually bring this up on Wikipedia, because it just bemused me when I was reading about this. It's something that Diageo do almost as kind of, they have a lot of these kind of social things. Diageo are very big on kind of social responsibility and responsible drinking and responsibility and safety and this and that and the other. A lot of it, having worked for the company, you kind of get the feeling is a little bit kind of, you know, it sounds good, but they're not really, you know, that up to it. But this is this is down as Buchanan's in terms of the company on Wikipedia, and at the bottom of it, it talks about Buchanan's Forever. Right, Buchanan's Forever is a musical experience which honours the legacy of Buchanan's founder by way of an ongoing community enrichment programme which forms part of Diageo's regional social responsibility platform, Learning for Life. Okay. Buchanan's Forever has been held in Mexico, Colombia and Venezuela, and in each country will support a charitable project that will help each of these communities. Fair enough, it's a charitable thing, and I can't really kind of take the piss because I'm doing this for charity myself, and a lot of people are saying to me, why are you drinking whiskey for charity? But it's just this kind of ongoing community enrichment program, a musical experience, which it's just like, what the hell are they, what is going on? Having said that, Buchanan's Forever artists have included Elton John, James Blunt, John Bon Jovi. The rest of them I don't no idea, but it's just like, what is this? I didn't really delve into it because it sounded absolutely mad, and to be honest, the most important thing is this, what's in the glass. So it's got a nice deep golden colour. The lighting is not quite as good as in my kitchen, so it's a little bit dimmer in here, but there is a lovely sort of golden, almost orangey hue to it. There's a nice maltiness on it, but that grain is really cutting through. There's I know I've said it quite often in terms of like this slightly metallic edge, and it's a little bit more prominent in here than it has been in other blended whiskies that I've had before. But it doesn't smell cheap. There is a standard Buchanan's blended whiskey as well, so this is kind of the next level up, but it's not one of their super premium ones. But it doesn't smell cheap. It doesn't smell kind of unbalanced. It's quite a, yeah, there's quite a nice sweetness and maltiness to it, which is then kind of lifted by this sharpness of the grain. Ooh, there's a bit of smokiness on this as well. What I didn't check was what the alcohol percentage was as well. There's a bit of smokiness on that actually really caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it to have that level of smokiness. It's not massively intense, but it's there, and it's obvious, and it's quite clean as well. Yes, it's 40%. There's a nice bite to it as well, though. I would have put it at like 43%. Maybe it's the smokiness that's just making me feel like it's a slightly stronger ABV. There's some orange peel in there as well. The smokiness does come through. It's not huge. It's slightly iodine, but it's not an obvious kind of Islay smokiness. It's more of a kind of wood fire smokiness. There's a little bit of oak in there. This orange peel really does kick in actually. Malt, toffee. It's pleasant. It's quite pleasant. It's a little bit rough around the edges though. It's not particularly mouth-filling. It's not rich, but there's quite a lot of flavours in there, so there's some good complexity in there, but it doesn't feel kind of rich and thick. It's quite light still, and I think that's where I'm picking up that kind of oranginess from the orange peel, because there's a bit of freshness to it as well. It's pretty well balanced. It's a little bit disparate, but not massively so, and not necessarily to its detriment. There's some interesting flavours in there, and like I say, the smokiness is actually, I think because I wasn't expecting this smoky element in there, that it's actually kind of given it more depth and character than I was probably expecting. It's pretty good actually. I'll be honest, I think I would prefer a bit more richness to it, just a bit more depth, and a bit more like a thicker mouthfeel. It feels quite light, and it's letting those flavours dance about and actually show themselves, but there's not really anything to support it, and there's not much of a finish either. It's quite dry, quite woody. Overall, not too bad. Just needs a little bit, particularly seeing as it's an aged 12-year-old as well. I'd hope for just a little bit more body behind it, but overall, not too bad at all, and very difficult to find in the UK as well. So I'm quite chuffed to be able to try it. So thank you, Crint. Thanks very much. I'm going to do a quick rinse out, and then we will crack on with the next one. See you soon.